Ashe County Oral History Project. An interview with Dora Waddell, September the 11th, 1981. Interviewer Clarice Weaver and Ruth Dasman. Miss Waddell, when were you born? What year? What date?
1903.
1903.
And
what day?
August 8th.
August 8th. So you had a birthday then, recently.
Yes, I had a birthday.
Was in this area here?
In what?
Were you born here in this area?
Yes.
And did you grow up in this area and settle? So
yes.
Have you ever lived anywhere else?
No.
No.
Nowhere but on this creek.
And what was your maiden name?
Howell. Dora Howell.
Howell. What was your daddy and mother's name?
Huh?
Your father and mother's name?
Abe and Corey.
Abe and Corey.
Abe Howell and Corey.
So you grew up here. Now is this little building out here? I wanted to ask you before I forget. Is that where you went to school out here at the Little Helton School? Is that what it was called?
Yes, Little Helton School.
And we wanted to talk a little bit about after you were married to Reverend Lee Waddell, and we wanted to talk to you somewhat about when the babies were born. There's a lot of interest that people are going back to having their babies, some at home and some...
Well, I had all three of mine at home.
All three?
Dr. Pennington was with Brian, and he just weighed 2 pounds. And he said he wouldn't live till he got to the forks of the road. And so there was a midwife here, and she was addressing it. And she told him his navel was bleeding. Well, he said he won't live till I get to the road. He said, finish it up. She says, when I do things, she says, I do them right. She said, get over here and fix this baby. So he went and fixed it, and the boys are living and has 2 boys himself.
Oh, really?
And if she hadn't insisted on him, the boy wouldn't have never lived. He'd have died. He'd bled to death.
Well, was it kind of hard taking care of a 2-pound baby? It was so little.
It was a 7-month baby.
I see.
And it didn't have no toenails and fingernails, and a man's handkerchief, white handkerchief, would make it a diaper, doubly. And it was just a little tail end was just like a squirrel.
You could put him in your pocket.
And I carried him on a pillar.
You did?
When I'd go to see my daddy or go anywhere, I'd put him on a pillar and then lop him up on that pillar. He was so small. You would turn a teacup down over his head and run around.
Is that?
And I got Dr. Waddell to stop, and he gave it some medicine, and I fed it with a medicine dropper, and kept it in between, stick it in the bed and have it locked in a blanket, and kept it body temperature.
Oh.
And I raised that kid, and he's a living and has 2 boys.
Well, now, who was the midwife that was here? What was her name?
Vic Porter.
Vic Porter.
Yeah.
Was she from this area too?
Yes, she lived right up here above me.
On Little Helton Creek. Now, who was with you for the other 2?
Well, I had Lorraine. Miss Porter was with me, a midwife. And so she took care of her.
Was your other 2, were they delivered by midwives?
Well, no, Dr. Pennington delivered Brian.
And who delivered the last one?
Well, Dr. Waddell.
Dr.
Miss Porter was dead at that time.
Who were some of the other midwives in the community
Well,
that you recall?
it was a Seagraves woman. I can't think of her name. She was Dewey Seagraves' mother.
Dewey Seagraves' mother.
And she went far and near, and she come after she found out I had that little one, Brian. She come up here and said, she come down the bank right there. She said, I want to see that little Dickens. She says there's so much talk out in the country about it.
2-pound baby, the news got around.
Yeah, it sure did.
Didn't hear that. That's great.
2-pound baby.
And so I raised him, and he's married and got 2 kids himself.
Now, did you think you sort of, the way you kept him was sort of like an incubator, wasn't it? You kept him at room temperature, body temperature.
Yeah, I kept him at and
fed him with a medicine dropper.
yeah, I fed him with a medicine dropper. And he couldn't nurse my breast because it was my first kid. And so there was a friend of mine, she had a baby. It was just 3 days, no, just 3 months older than my baby. And she lived over here at the Mel Duval place, and she'd walk over here and let it nurse at 12 o'clock of a day. Well, then she would go back and come back and stay all night and let it nurse during the night. Then she'd let it nurse before she left. She'd come back at 12 and let it nurse again.
That was wonderful.
Did she just do it out of the goodness of her heart?
Yeah. And so they was a setting up with it and a watching for it to die. And I told them all the time, I said, it'll live. I had faith enough to believe that I'd raise him. And so I said to her, they was setting up with it and watching for it to die. And there was just several women in here. So it kind of roused up and grabbed at Miss Hall, Florence Hall's finger. And she said, Lord, make a sugar tit for it right quick.
But that kind of took pacifier too, didn't it?
And I said, well, you, Carmen, I said, you let it nurse. So she let him nurse, and she helped me raise him till he got strength enough till he could nurse my breast, and so I raised him.
Now, you've had the benefit of doctors and midwives. Did you fare much better with doctors, or did you fare worse, or what was your idea on a midwife?
I just soon had Miss Porter as to had a doctor.
If all goes well, it's a pretty normal process, isn't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I just soon had her as to had a doctor. She was as good as the old woman ever was, and she'd go far and near and take her lantern midnight to wait on people.
Oh, and what was the woman's name? Now, you told me the woman's name that fed your baby till it got strong enough to...
Carmen Blackburn, Preacher Blackburn's wife.
Preacher Blackburn's wife. And you said she lived close, somebody. Who was?
Yeah, she lived close to me, just across the hill here.
Okay. Well, you know, that's a very interesting thing now. So many people are trying to learn all they can about the early lifestyles and what have you. And I know I have talked to 2 midwives, and one had delivered almost 300 babies, and she'd never lost one.
Well, I had delivered one.
Really?
Myself. So because when I wasn't no midwife, I got into Dutch, and right up here at John Testament's, that little old building there.
John Testament.
Yeah, it lives right up here. You know, there's a little store sits right down on there. Well, I'd went up to Sess Walker's, that old Walker house. There's an old house down there. So she hollered at me and told me to come up there. Well, Charlie Shaw was running everywhere trying to find a doctor, and he went to Lansing, and Dean Jones wouldn't come. I don't know why, but he wouldn't come. And he told him to go get a midwife up there on Horse Creek. Well, he went and got her. But before he got her and got back, the baby was born, and I delivered it. And its grandmother, she tied its cord, and that was Alice Shaw's baby, and she tied it, her mother tied its cord. Well, afterbirth come. Well, Dr. Waddell, it was on Wednesday, and he had an office up on Horse Creek.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched for him after I'd delivered the baby, and his grandma was washing it to clean it up, and I seen him coming in his little old one-seated car, and I went out and flagged him down. I said, Doctor, I said, come in here. I've delivered a baby, and I said, I don't know whether I've done right or not. But I said, she had the baby, and I held it. And every time I said she'd pain, I'd tell her how to bear down. And all, and I said, I went with what the doctor told me and what the midwife told me. And I said, when it was born, why, its grandmother tied the cord. And I said, I want you to see if we had it fixed right. He said, I couldn't have done a better job myself.
Is that right?
And so,
Made you feel good, didn't it?
and about that time, Charlie come in with that midwife. And she wanted to check Alice, and Alice said, no. She says, you ain't checking me. She says, it doesn't been checked by the doctor. She says, Dora delivered the baby, and she says, I had it, and says she flagged the doctor down, and he come in and okayed it, and put drops in its eyes. And she said, I ain't been fooled with the boy.
She's ready to rest, wasn't it? Now, when there was, did the midwives put drops in their eyes? Did they carry that drops?
Yeah.
I just wondered what they done before they, or what did they do before they learned about the drops that they were supposed to put in their eyes?
Well,
They just always know it, and
Yeah. They just, but Miss Porter had her drops, and if the baby got sick, you could call her, and she would give it medicine, and the baby would get along, just same as if you'd had a doctor. She had her license.
my midwife. Did she make her own herb medicines out of catnip and all those things?
Yeah.
Is that the kind of medicines she used?
And,
Do you know of any of the remedies she did use? Was catnip tea one of her specialties?
Well, for colic, she used this, it grows in the swamp, and it's wide stuff just like these, like sunflowers up there. And she would get the root of that, and she would boil it and give it to them, and it would just ease them better than anything. And another thing, when we had colic, she'd take a little whiskey, and she'd put that in it, and you could give it a drop or two, and it'd just ease it right off.
The colic.
Yeah, the colic, as the best
Ooh.
thing.
You don't know what the name of that
It was calamus root.
calamus root.
Yeah. And it grows like them flowers out there that's got wide,
I see. The irises is
yeah,
yeah.
and it grows, some grows right up there.
The calamus. Does anyone use it now?
Well, I got some fixed with Joanne's baby some, and it quit its crying.
What were some of the other things? Do you recall any other things she used?
Well, she used, for colds, she'd get, and for whooping cough, she'd get these chestnut leaves and boil them.
Chestnut.
Chestnut leaves, she'd wash them, and for whooping cough, and she'd put brown sugar in it and make a syrup.
Out of chestnut leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, for goodness.
She'd boil them chestnut leaves, and that water would be just as red looking, and
Now, after they were, while they were still green, or were they dried?
they was dry.
Dried chestnut leaves.
And she'd take and boil them, wash them good and boil them, and then she'd take and strain them through a cloth, and then she'd put brown sugar in them and make a syrup. And that would help that whooping cough, that coughing.
Oh, yes.
And just lots of things she'd use. Catnip, she'd use that. And
Well, she just boil a catnip, make a syrup out of it.
yeah, and then for colds, she'd take pine